Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Today I'm going to talk about all the different loadouts for each character in Star Wars Hunters and give you some example builds for all the characters. Make sure to drop a like if this video was helpful and subscribe for more Star Wars Hunters content. Also, join our Discord of the Ultimate Hunters for more info about all the characters. Enjoy the video! As you can see, I have a ton of characters already maxed out and some of them are really close to max out, so I have a really good idea of what loadouts to run for each character. And I also asked for some help in the Discord where I got sent a lot of different loadouts. So I'm gonna give you a different set of loadouts for everyone and also gonna say which loadout is good or bad. Let's start with our good friend Imara Vex, the grapple. Momentum is not as the best loadout, it's actually the worst one of the three. You don't really need the faster movement because basically you always grapple to places where there's no one, and all the places you can grapple to have mostly walls. So, and having the bigger range helps a lot. Then evade. Evade is probably the best one for the three. Just being invulnerable in the air makes Imara really broken. The cooldown is not that long, like he can still escape some situations. And then core is, just core. Grapple is always sick. So you can run core in the game, but I will probably say run evade all the time. It's probably the best one. Then we have the tracking scan. Renew. Renew is, we think it's bugged, but we are not sure. But basically it says that if you hit someone, it makes the scan longer, but I don't really think that's necessary because the scan is already really long, and if you are hitting someone, you already see the person, so why do we want it to let it scan? So that's why it's bad, because it's useless. Then we have Rush. Rush is, I think, one of the best loadouts for Imara. Just having that speed boost can really help you flank people from the left or the right, or it can also just be a good escape. And then core, it's always good, but it can be helpful, it can be not. So yeah. Then we have the missile launcher. Lock on is probably the worst in my opinion. Heal less damage is already like, I love the damage on the rocket. And then the tracking on missile launcher is not that good. Even with log on, it can always miss. Like, it's not a secure hit. So that's why I don't use it. I get why some people use it because it really helps to learn how the missile launcher works. But after a while, you don't want to run it if you know how to use a missile launcher. Then we have Barrage. Barrage is probably the best one because it has, instead of one missile, you have three. And it says deal less damage, but if you hit all three of them, it deals more damage than core. So, and the tracking, like I said, it doesn't really work already. So basically, it doesn't really have anything negative. And core is just core. It's always good, it's always just normal. Deals good damage, and so it's either Barrage or core, but if you have Barrage, I would say use Barrage. And then and this is the loadout that most people run. I don't really see anyone else running something else, like in the highest rank. So I think this is the best. Like everybody of my team runs it. So yeah, I think this is the best loadout. Some can be core, like you can do core, missile launcher, or core grapple, but this will save you a lot. Then we have our good pal J3D. I also maxed out, have this amazing skin, I love this. I also have her handle and after flex, I have the beautiful infrared mission. But no, loadouts. I don't know how to say that word. Is that English? Okay, put a pool. Falter. Falter is actually good. I saw someone running it in the past, and it can actually be good if you want some more CC, like slowing people. The shorter range is can be a little bit annoying, like, but in close combat arenas can be really good. But then the problem with Walter is that we have Rattled. And Rattled is the best loadout ever because it basically makes you a tank, like a pseudo tank. So yeah, you have 2 extra spare parts, which heals 25 HP per part, I think, so 50 extra health. And if you just, even though you're not low, you can lay them on the ground and then just pick them up when you're low. So you have basically 250 health instead of 200. So yeah, that's why Falter is not that good, because Rattled is overpowered. But you can either run both of those cores. Just yeah, it's core. Pull is always nice to have, but if you have those two, core sucks. Like, either 2 of those are better at core. But I will say use Rattle because having 250 HP makes J3DI pretty broken. Alright, deflecting stance. Precision, I saw a quick draw running, some people will know him. It's actually pretty good. You can, if you're running straight to an Imara or Sentinel, you can burn them to death with their own shots. But then again, same as a pull, you have another loadout that makes J3DI go God mode. Retaliate is the best loadout in the freaking game. So what it does is, instead of deflecting the bolts, you absorb them in your lightsaber. So your next hit deals a lot more damage. So basically, the bolts are not deflected. That is not even a negative thing. Like, makes sense that instead of deflecting them, you absorb them. So your lightsaber charges up. But it actually can, like, the normal basic hit of a J3DI is 45 HP. And with Retaliate, it can up that to like 140. So you can almost one-shot Rieve with basic attack. Or if you combo Retaliate with the overhead slam, you have like 250 damage. So yeah, that thing is broken. And I'm surprised they didn't nerf it yet. I'm actually surprised they didn't nerf it yet. Because if you don't run Retaliate, J3DI is much worse than J3DI with Retaliate. And then yeah, core the same situation. If you have 2 really good loadouts, why really run core? So core is good, but it's core. Like, it does nothing and makes, but yeah. Then we have the overhead strike. Here is the one that most people are not gonna agree with me. We will start with opener. Sucks. Don't use it. Doesn't work as you think it will work. Like, yeah, it can do some damage, but it's not that good. If you really use it as an opener, like if 4 people are standing there with full health, it can do some nasty damage. But it's so situational that, yeah, you don't use it. Like, I don't like situational things. That's one point you're gonna see a lot in this video. I don't like situational things. Keep that in mind. And then we have Agile. I've seen so many people run this thing, but I don't like it. J3DI is slow, but not that slow if you know how to use it. And that's why I don't, and the longer cooldown makes me, like, if it wasn't long cooldown, I was like, okay, maybe I should run this, but I use overhead slam over overhead strike pretty much as a spam attack. Like, the cooldown is so short, and with Agile it's more than double. Like, I think it's 7-second core and like 15 seconds with Agile. So yeah, I really love core because you can spam it, and it's every time 120 damage you can do. Like, spam it. And then with Agile you cannot do that. And if you're smart about using your overhead strike, you don't need the speed boost. Like, you know how to hit them if you really use that a lot. So yeah, I would say core. And then for the build, I run this, but yeah, I think, yeah, it's some people, you can run this or this. Like, I won't, like, this makes J3DI go God mode. If you ever see a competitive J3DI, I guarantee you it's running these two. And then you can choose between core and Agile. If you want more movement but less damage, you go with Agile. If you want a lot of damage but not the movement upgrade, yeah, use core. So that's are the two builds I will say to you. I will give to you better. Then we have our good pal Rieve. Rieve is a crazy assassin. I actually have two builds for her, and I think it's the most common builds. But we will start with the loadouts first. Okay, Ruthless Pursuit. There are two loadouts that are pretty good, and that's Hinder and Spree. Hinder, yeah, slow, always fun to have people slowed, and the slow is actually pretty sick. Like, they are basically frozen. If it deals less damage, but if they are like slowed, you can finish them off with basics, and I think it deals more damage than the core does. At the time you do basic attacks, and the time, and yeah, I am bad with words. But yeah, if you want more CC, run this. Then we have Spree. Spree is just going insane mode. So basically it resets the cooldown if you kill a person with it. Sounds crazy as Rieve. So yeah, either of those are really good. Like, I run this for a long time, and then I run this for a long time, and then I probably go back to this one. You can choose. And then yeah, core, the exact same thing. It's good, it's bad, it's neutral, like it's core. So, and it just get overclassed with these two. Precision Leap. This is, yeah, it's just bad. Like, the slam is not what you think it is. Harrier deals more damage, but the problem, why I get why people want to run this more damage. Rieve is a really high damage character, but you want to use your leap as an escape for most of the time. Like, I don't use it to go into a fight. It's my escape out of it, and you cannot use that as a movement ability anymore because it becomes a damage move. So that's why I run core, because I don't use it for damage. I use it to just jump on a higher place, get the buffs or the purple thingies, or just get out of a fight. If you're like if three people are running to you, you just leap away. So that's why I don't use either of those. The slam is just not what I think it is. Like, it sucks. And then Harrier, yeah, it's just a target, can only target enemies. It's really a negative thing, and it only deals like 20 more damage. So it's not to really like get people say like, hey, it's good for finish a guy off, but then you're standing then in the middle of a fight and living to that. So that's why I run core. Then we have Lightsaber Throw. This is the exact same thing. There's one loadout that's so good that the other two are bad. Called enemy takes more damage, but it returns after one hit. That's really bad because you really want to use your lightsaber attack as like going through multiple people. I always try to hit 2 or 3 people, maybe sometimes 4 if they really stacked up together. So that's why I don't use calls. I will skip Transfix because, yeah, I will go to core. Same, neutral, it's not good, it's not bad. It deals good damage, and that's basically it. But then we have Transfix. Transfix is broken. It's basically freeze them, stuns them, leaving them to dead. And you can hit multiple people with them, like I said before. So you can stun 2 or 3 people, someone throws a grenade at them, and they're dead. Like, it also deals like 90 damage in total per person. So yeah, it's just insane. Like, I thought like the longer cooldown doesn't make it worse. I think they need to reduce the damage on Transfix if they want to make it less broken. Because it's the combination with damage and crowd control that makes it so good. So that brings me to the 2 builds. This is the first build. This is more crowd control. So you can, with Hinder, you stun people, you freeze people and you stun people with Transfix, and then just score for movement. And then if you want to go more killing mode, but takes some more risk to die, take Spree instead of Hinder, and that's just full on attack, kill everyone. This is also the build where you can one-shot Rieve with. So you use your Transfix, you throw a lightsaber at Rieve. If it hits, it's double hit, so it's 90. You can finish him up with Spree while she's stunned. And Spree deals 60, so that's 150, so she's dead. So yeah, you can choose. I will say keep these 2, and you can choose between these. That's basically it. Then we have our good friend Sentinel. Sentinel is probably the most difficult one to make an actual good build with. because all the loadouts are good. Now, not good, but not bad. Like, there's only one that's really good. So, let's go to the combat shield. Turbo makes it, makes your shield like go from 200 to like 450, I think, 400 or 450. So basically, you're a tank, like you have 600 health. But it only lasts for 7 seconds. But the cooldown is only also 7 seconds, so you have it basically for half the match. So it's not that bad. Fortitude is just bad, like you don't want temporary health. Like, you're not a tank. Like, I know I said this makes you a tank. This is... I think they made this to make you a tank, but... Sentinel is also not a tank. It's difficult, but don't change Fortitude. And then Core, yeah, I see why people run Core. It's always fun to run around to the shield and always have that 200 extra health or a shield. So... you can choose if you really want to get like out of struggles situations and get block ults, run durable. If you just want some extra permanent health, choose Core. Then suppressing fire, the move no one uses ever. Repel, Sentinel is really based on shoot as fast as possible, so stand still, increase your fire rate and just spam at people. And then fire slower makes just one good thing about Sentinel makes it bad, so that's why no one uses Repel. It's just fun to see people get knocked back. I would say try Repel, it's fun. It's a fun thing, like, it's fun to see them go back, but knockback is like, it's a step back, so yeah, fire slow with fewer shots, that makes it even worse actually. It's just fun, but bad. So try it once, it's really funny, and go in training grounds. Use it. It's really fun, but don't use it in matches. Then we have Entrench. Entrench is basically the negative thing. Is basically the passive of Sentinel. Sentinel is really made like stand still and just spray at people. So this is, you can move while active. You don't really move that much with Sentinel, so it's not that bad. And the slow, like the slow for longer is really good. So that's why I use Entrench, but I also see people running Core because it's a bad move. Like suppressing fire, you only use that in hotball when someone's carrying the ball to your goal. That's the only time I use suppressing fire. Or on the pod racer map when they are coming out of their spawn. Then is also a time that I use it, but for the rest I never use suppressing fire. And then Burst, these are actually all three good. Like Pummel is good to get away further away from you. Bash for extra damage, I also see that people. So yeah, you can. This is personal reference. Like the whole build of Sentinel is personal reference. What do you like? So yeah. So you can either choose all three of them. Like they're all good and they're all bad, like the same time. So it's basically what do you like? Do you like to just read people out of the map? I'm sorry, or just deal more damage? Or just do a normal stun. It's basically up to you. I would say if you run Core, you should try Pummel, because basically Pummel upgrade the Core, and Bash is like a separate thing. So if you want more damage but less crowd control, choose this. If you want a huge control but take this, it's really hard to hit actually. Like, and to show the range makes it harder to hit, but Core is just Core. So basically everything, you can run everything with this. It's like, here you run what you want, don't run Fortitude though, that's the only thing you cannot run. But this is just personal preference. Here the same, don't use Repel, but this is personal preference. And then here the exact same thing. So basically you can run everything with Sentinel and still do good. Then we have our good friend uTooni, my main. I played most games with this thing. I love him. I love this blue skin, but we're not talking about skins in this game. So, actually, I'm kind of this is my main, and I'm so disappointing about some loadouts. Like, you can run all Core and he's still good. Like, the loadouts aren't that good in my opinion. So let's go to Switcheroo. Switcheroo. Skora is probably the best one. Move fast after switching. It's your escape, it's your extra movement, it's just... And it takes longer to switch weapons, it's like 2 seconds, so... It's not that bad, and as my playstyle, I don't use the Arcasters, and I use this as an escape. So don't use overcharge because the damage boost is like only 3 seconds or something like, and it's not that huge. So don't run overcharge, it's bad. And then yeah, core is just core. Like this is also not just an ability, it's just switching a weapon. So if you, yeah, core or scurry. I think scurry is the best one because extra movement is always helpful, and the negative thing is not that bad. Then we have hands off. Hands off is actually do good loadout. Sorry, I was distracted by that movie. Alright, stagger, probably the worst one. Affected enemies are slow, deal less damage. It's basically everything you don't want. Like, that's the only thing you don't want to do with uTooni is slowing people. It's or knocking them away from you or just stunning them. So don't run this. Also, damage is. If you don't want to deal damage, use this. So focus is broken. So it can knock people down for like 5 seconds, and they're just laying on the ground, ready to get shot at for your friends. So uTooni is really based on assist and just being a bully on the map. So I think focus is actually the best one. Okay, you don't deal as much damage. I only deal 10 damage, but at the time they're stunned, they get more damage than you can do with core. But if you want more damage, run core. If you want just being the biggest bully ever, run focused. And then the imploder. Persistent. Broken. It basically freezes out people in the spot they are in. Sorry about my English. So yeah, the imploder effect lasts longer. That's just insane, and you really get used to the longer fuse. Like you know where to put them. If you play uTooni a ton, you know where to place those persistent imploders. Like you get used to it. So probably use this, train with it a lot, and then it's so good. And stepping, I tried this before because my previous build was all about dealing as much damage as possible with uTooni. Now I'm changing it to being the biggest bully and just freezing everyone, stunning everyone. So that's why I don't use this, and also the effect is also like 3 seconds, so yeah, it's nothing good. And then just core, yeah, it's just core. Like, it's good, it's bad, it's neutral. So, I'll say, so basically, if you want to be the biggest bully ever, run this, scurry, focus, persistent. If you want more damage as uTooni and you have a hard time getting people off of you, change focus to core, like this, and then you have more damage build with some CC. But yeah, I love focused, it's so good. Then we have our good pal Skora. Skora actually got nerfed in latest patch with her passive. Some people now think she's bad. She's not, okay? Just want to make this clear. Skora is not bad. Skora is made of a hit and run target. Like, if you get hit, you run, and then you go heal your teammates. So, the passive nerf was deserved. Like, Skora was broken previous patch. But yeah, these are also the builds that most people have a different one on. I see also for the adrenal boost, I see a lot of people run sturdy, but it's like I said previous time, it's too situational for me. Like, it's only good when you get ulted or you have 3 people on you, but for the rest, you lose your vulnerable thingy. I've been talking too long. It's yeah. So you lose the best thing about the move, and that's why I don't run Scurdy. Slippery can be good, but it's like it has a lot of bugs, so it can only work with uTooni stuns, and I think maybe Grozz, but most of the time it doesn't work. So that's why I run core. Core is just run away as fast as possible. Then we have the Slingshot. You can use all of them, but I think for competitive wise, this tries its best. Like, when someone is critical health, it basically heals for like 200, 220. So, and if it's not injured, it's like it still do 120. So you can make a Rieve broken with that. So I think tries its best. Resonate is just a troll build in my mind, because you can just make a tank like 2000 health, but it's a little bit unnecessary. Like, it heals more than just one core, but it's just if you want to troll, you do that. But competitive wise, it's not that good. And then just core is core. It's good, it's bad, it's neutral. Then our quickfire reaction. I actually didn't knew it was such a long name. I thought it was burst, just burst or something. There are two loadouts that are good, and that's core or fatigue, and that's just really personal preference. Fatigue is really good if you really want to go full on healing, not even looking at enemies, and when there's actually an enemy close to you, you can basically freeze them. Fatigue makes it says slows, but it's almost a freeze, like if they are frozen. But it doesn't deal as much damage, and as you know, core can one-shot Rieve, so that's why I run core, because it deals more. If I get attacked, it's mostly by Rieve or something, someone fast that can follow actually the movement speed of Skora, so that's why I run core, because I can one-shot Rieve. And Thrifty, I tried it and I thought, maybe it's good because it's like only one bird, but it's like 16. It's not good. Yeah. It's not good, like it needs some tweaking. It can be a really good one, but it needs some tweaking. So that's what I bring to the builds, and that's personally, I would say, adrenaline players to keep it core. Just don't run sturdy, it's too situational. I saw some really good plays with it, but it's like 1 in 100 chance, while the core is 100 in 100 chance. So yeah, you run core. I said Triage is the best for competitive, like it basically makes everyone tank when, like, it can bring someone back to full health basically. So yeah, and then quickfire reaction is fatigue or core. You can run either of both. It's just, do you want to go for healing and just get rid of people and let others kill him, or do you want to kill them themselves and go a little bit more offense with Skora? So that's basically it. Okay, then with my favorite character, my guy in the chair. I'm really mad about Zynga because they nerfed this character, and the more I play, I think like maybe it's deserved because he's still so good. Like, I love his face, I love his little face, and he's just sitting on ball. I love him. I love Sprocket. He's my first character that I got max, so he's my most played character. Probably have to uTooni, so I love him. And I actually think I have 2 builds that are best and only 1 changes. So first of all, targeting droid, best one ever area. I see a lot of people run. I see some people run long life, but the longer duration is not necessary. Like, it's already pretty long. They're pretty. I think it's like 10 seconds, maybe 7 to 10 seconds. And then the shorter range makes it bad because range isn't that far. So yeah, don't run long life. Area is the best one as possible because you can basically mark the whole team. Like, you can mark everyone and deal your team can deal massive damage to anyone. And then yeah, core just get overclassed by this one. So core is just, it's core, but area is so good. So if you haven't tried it, try area, it's so good. Then we have medical droid. A medical droid is, core is probably the worst one because these two are really good in, they're both, like, they both have their own situation where they really shine in. And then just core is just, it's good, it's not, like, you have these two, so I would say emergency is really to get some saving heals and keep your team alive on critical health. It's really good when you really need to spam the medical droid, even though there's one still up, you really have to spam it and keep it off cooldown as much as possible so you can really save people. With a passive, and then combination emergency passive can heal someone from 2 HP to 200 HP in like a few seconds. So that's really good. Lingering is good for more overall healing, and it also gives you chance to your team to just touch the medical droid and go back into the fight and still heal, so that's also pretty good. So if you want more overall healing and get people fast back into the fight, use Lingering. If you really want to save your team from dying, you're an emergency. If you have these two, don't run core. Like, core is good, but these two are better. Then the blaster turret. Here I'm gonna a lot of people are not gonna agree on this, but Scattershot. Can I get the patch notes here real quick? I want to get the patch notes. I found them. Game update. Latest news. Here. I will, can I get this on? No, is it here? Can I get the patch notes? So, as you can see, Sprocket's Scattershot turret got a pretty big nerf. Just as Spirit and also the core one. But these two are now, they were bad before the patch, and now they're even worse. So, I said rank 4. Scattershot is really situational. It's not anymore. It was really good in certain situations, but now after the patch, it's not even good in that situational. Spirit was bad before, like it needed a buff, and it got nerfed even more. So Spirit is just, they have like 10 to 20 HP, so one shot able, and they only deal 2.5 damage per tick. So yeah, it's bad. So that's why I run core. Like, I know a lot of people are gonna be mad of me saying this, but these two suck. Like, it's bad. Even after they were bad before the patch, and now they're nerfed even more. So run core. So yeah, that's basically the two you always want to run is area and core, and then medical droid is just emergency or lingering on personal preference. I actually, my friend Quick Draw, where I play a lot with, has the exact same healing stat as me with Sprocket, and he runs emergency, so they are healing wise the same, but you just need to use them in other situations. So yeah, personal reference and just keep area and core. Then we have our broken character Zaina. Zaina, besides the passive, she got buffed so hard. Besides one thing, and you will see that in a bit, there's one thing that's nerfed and was pretty broken, but now it's nerfed and it isn't that good anymore. But let's start with the healing ball or the backed up bomb. Refuge, don't use it because it heals more than core, but you have to stand in a certain place, and that just makes it feel right. Like, Zaina is a lot about movement and just dodging in and out, and yeah, Refuge really makes it, yeah, just having that in one spot makes me feel weird. So, and also it heals over time, so yeah. Then we have Sustain. Sustain is probably the best one to get with core. Of course, really good now with the new passive because you can really save people. Sustain is the most, can heal the most of the three, I think. Can Refuge more, but it heals more than core. And basically, you can use Sustained before they go into fight, and then your teammate takes damage and he instantly starts healing again because he got Sustained on him. So that's why most people run Sustain in the higher tiers. But I also see a lot of people running core now because you can really save people now with the new passive. So you can either run Sustain or core, basically personal preference. Then the dodge roll, also personal preference. Tactical is when you run tactical if you want more damage and just go into fight, deal damage and then go back. Double is really movement, pure movement. It's also good. And then core is just bad because of these two, but it's core. So yeah. Then we have Sticky Bomb, and here's the loadout that got nerfed. Heavy Bomb is the only thing that got nerfed in this patch. The rest is all buffed, but this got nerfed. So don't run Heavy. It deals like the same damage as core now, I think. So only in the bigger explosion area. Okay, it's good, but it deals the same damage as core. So it was really good because of its 2 damage. And then Concussion, I don't see much people running it on the higher tiers because it's weird. It's a weird loadout. Like, it's really weird to see when you get used on you. Like, when you get concussed, it's so weird, but you can actually still aim through it. Like, if you're running auto fire or even manual fire, you can still hit through the concussion, and it's not that long. Like, and it deals like, I think how it was less before, but it got nerfed. Buffed the damage. So it deals more damage now. I think it's 50 if I don't mistake. Not sure though. Let me check really quick. No, I can't check it right now. But you can run it for fun, but if you really want to go competitive and go for win rate and wins, go core. Core is just good. So yeah, basically what I run is core, and then these two are just personal preference, like sustained or core, and then tactical or double. Basically, choose whatever you want. It's both good, they're the same, they're both good. So yeah. Then we are starting with the tanks. We have our good pal Grozz. I'm actually close to leveling up, let's go. He's our biggest, he has the highest health in the game, so you can do things with that, or you can also deal massive damage with it. Then Stampede. Stampede is one thing that you can run all three of them and still do good. Like if you're good with core, you're good. If you're good with sprinting, you're good. If you're good with defensive, you're also good. But if you're not good with it, it sucks. So defensive is really go high tank and just making you unstoppable makes it so good. Because when two Grozzes stampede each other and one is running defensive and the other is not, the unstoppable wins. So it makes good. Like it really makes Grozz even more a thing. Sprinting is only good when you know that if you can hit it, and also in the longer areas like Great Hunt, the escort map, it needs its walls close to it to deal damage. So I will say don't run sprinting, run either core or defensive. Core is good actually, like it's one of the best cores in the game. So run core if you just want to deal good damage, run defensive if you want to be more defensive. Then Warcry, same thing, you can run all three of them. I will say if you love enduring, try to do more core. This only heals more than like I think 20 or 30 HP, and the time when you heal is so long that when you get shot, it actually heals the same as core. So I will say run core or bolster. Bolster is so good. It gives you like it's basically a Slingshot from Skora. So it gives like 200 extra HP, and then it goes away. It's really good for a HUD ball, like you can get it yourself only to 600 HP. So run core or bolster, it's preference, not reference. And then Frenzy, I would say they're relentless or intense. Intense is really go high damage, you can one-shot Rieve with the loadout also. And then relentless is really good to just chase people down. Like it's pretty good to move faster, so it's pretty good. So either run intense or relentless. So I have actually two builds. It's core, bolster, intense. That's just being a tank with the highest damage output you can get. Unless you're good with sprinting, you can use sprinting, but I'm not good with it. So that's why I run core. So this is really tank with maximum output. And then we have defensive with enduring or core, but I prefer core, but you can also try enduring. With intense or relentless, and that's just being the absolute tank, like high health, some damage, and just being, you can stand in someone's face with that loadout and just don't get killed. Then we have our last guy, our boy Slingshot, which yeah, I'm also mad at Zynga about because they nerfed Slingshot in HUD ball. This is also like one of the loadouts you can use everything. Besides a few things, like it's the stable shield. Okay, we'll just start with unstable shield. You can run either of those. Stumble is really good for CC, like on control. Just yeah, it's basically stunning them, and Slingshot has some opportunities to stun people also with his ult, so you can run stumble. I use Empower personally because I love more. Slingshot needs more damage, and Empower gives that a little bit more. So and then just core is also just good. It's 300 extra HP. So yeah, 300 shield is good. It's good. Then we have our trick shot. I would say don't run shock. Shock is bugged, not the move itself, but the animation. So when you use shock, at the end of the shock animation, you stop rolling, and I mostly use trick shot and as an escape. And if I stop rolling, yeah, you need to go back into that rolling animation, which takes like 2 to 3 seconds. So don't run shock, which is bugged. Dynamo is also really good. I will say though, don't run Dynamo if you run Empower, because don't use those two with each other. So if you run Dynamo, don't run Empower. If you run Empower, don't run Dynamo. So that's why I run Core. Then this one is probably the best one, the easiest one. Kinetic is just, yeah, it's good and bad. Like, I see extra slowing effects is pretty good, but if you have high yield, and high yield is so good. Like, it deals massive damage, and then just, yeah, Core is just, yeah, it's Core. So, and it says 5 few rockets, but it's just the angle. Like, when you have Core, it's like almost a 180 angle, while high yield is only like 60 degrees, like half of it. So, but still, high yield deals more damage than Core, so that's why I run high yield. And kinetic, I see why you will run it, but I think high yield is just a bit. So that brings you to like the 2 balls. So Empower, Core, high yield, or Core or Stumble with Dynamo, like something like that. But I run this one. But don't use, the only thing you have to remember is don't use Empower with Dynamo, and don't run Shock because it's bugged. So yeah, that's basically it. That were all the loadouts for every character. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. Thanks for watching. It's a pretty long video. And I hope to see you guys all on the next one. Stay safe, be safe, and see you guys. Bye.